So does money actually bring you happiness? What's up, everybody? This is your boy Tech G back with another video. And in this video, we're going to be talking about as to whether or not making a lot of money in tech will actually bring you happiness. Now, like all of you out there, I like money. And yes, I am a firm believer that money can get you closer to happiness. But at the same time, I don't believe that money can actually bring about true happiness. I'm actually of the mindset that true happiness is something that comes from within. But like I said, I will be happy with a lot of money. Anyways, we're going to go ahead and check out this article real quick from an IT dude or a Netflix engineer who says that he quit his job as a Netflix engineer making $450,000 a year because the money was not worth the boredom. Oh my. So let's check this out. Article says, I started working at Netflix as a senior software engineer in 2017 after leaving my job at Amazon. I was happy to get a promotion and return home to the Bay Area. At the time, I thought I would stay with Netflix forever. I made $450,000 a year, got free food daily, and had unlimited paid time off. It was the big tech dream. Jesus. This guy was getting paid $450,000 a year, getting free food at the job and unlimited paid time off. Yes, I would concur that that is the big tech dream. That's the dream I would like to have. But you know, I'm making YouTube videos. Article goes on to say, when I left after almost 4 years later in May 2021, everybody thought I was crazy. I bet they did think you were crazy. It says, my parents were the first to object. For them, my quitting was throwing away their hard work of immigrating to the United States. He says, my mentor was the second to object. He said I shouldn't quit without another job lined up because I'd miss out on leveraging my high salary when negotiating my pay at the next job. The comments made me pause for all of 3 days before I spoke with my manager about leaving. And he says 8 months later, I'm confident it was the right decision. I don't know about all that, but let's proceed to keep reading. It says working at Netflix was like getting paid to work on case studies you learn about in MBA programs. It says they made the memos for every product decision available for all employees to read, and I learned so much every day. It says over the next 2 years, the shine began to wear off, the projects and meetings blended together, and they felt like small variations of each other after a while. The engineering work began to feel like copy and paste. I'm pretty sure a lot of us can relate to that. You start a job, you're excited about it, you're excited about the money and the opportunities, and after a while, things become kind of mundane. I've been there before, so I feel your pain, buddy. It says then COVID-19 happened. The office shut down and all my favorite parts of work, the socializing, the coworkers, the perks, all of that disappeared. So that's one thing about this whole COVID-19 thing that I don't think a lot of people talk about is we were all excited to be working from home. At least I was, because I know back in 2020, I started working from home. I want to say around April of 2020. And then I want to say about probably September-ish, I had to get up out the house and go back to work. I was like, I'm just going to risk it and go into the job because yes, I like working from home. Yes, I like saving gas money because it currently takes me 30 minutes to drive to my job from my house. But after a while, I just got tired of being in my house all day long. So I was like, I have to get out the house. So I decided to go back into work. And, you know, that was cool. Now, I kind of wish I stayed home because of these high gas prices. Says, the only thing left was the work itself, and I didn't enjoy the work anymore. Says, I wanted to have a bigger effect. For me, deciding how to allocate engineering resources was more relevant to my career goals than engineering work itself. And I wanted to transition into product management to lead these efforts. As a result, I spent 2 years networking within Netflix and applying for every product manager role I could find. It says none of my tips panned out and I was still doing the same job. The issue was that Netflix didn't have any processes in place to support horizontal role changes like this. I've never seen an engineer successfully transition to product management at the company. Goes on to say, now that transitioning into the project project management role was out of the question. My high salary felt like an increasingly bad deal. When I started at Netflix, I was making money and continuously learning new things. Now I was just making money with no career progression. And unfortunately, this is a common theme amongst a lot of people, regardless of what profession that you work in. A lot of people will chase these paychecks for these high salaries, but oftentimes you'll come across a lot of people who basically don't have anywhere else to go once they acquire the high salary. They're kind of just stuck there. It says, my team's goals also started to diverge from my career goals. The team focused on engineering migration, where we had to move from one online system to another, while my interest veered towards entrepreneurship. The work I was doing didn't help me learn the business skills I needed. I started to feel like I was repeating the same career mistake I'd made at Amazon, staying in a job that wasn't a great fit longer than I should have. My motivation waned and my performance waned with it. I became less engaged in meetings, minimized doing work not relevant to product management, and dragged my feet on communication. My only motivation at the end was trying not to get fired. I've been in that position too, where I was, I kind of relate to this dude a little bit, but I've been in that position once where I found myself just doing basically the bare minimum to not get fired, even though I didn't want to work for the company that I was working for at the time. But so I kind of feel his pain on that a little bit. I do not recommend any of you all out there doing that though. It says, unfortunately, my manager started to notice in a heated performance review in April 2021. He said I needed to become more engaged in the team's engineering migration and become more communicative. In his words, I had to improve in these areas if I wished to remain on the team. It says, I was working at a prestigious company making a good living for myself. It's hard to give up a salary, something tangible, for intangible things like your youth and your time. But I couldn't shake the knowledge that many people had lost their lives during the pandemic. I was putting off my dreams of becoming an entrepreneur, and COVID-19 was a constant reminder that I might not be here tomorrow to pursue them. It says, I was scared that my tombstone would read, here lies Michael. He spent his life doing work he never wanted to do. Rest in peace. It says, the longer I stayed at Netflix, the greater the chance the tombstone would become my reality. Then goes on to say, I spent 2 weeks after the performance review thinking about my next steps and decided to have a candid talk with my manager. In a one-on-one meeting with him, I proposed that we discuss a preemptive severance package. I told him my performance is declining because my motivation is declining. My motivation isn't improving because the team's goals diverge further from my career goals. What if we discuss the preemptive severance package out of Netflix now rather than drag this on? That way Netflix saves money, the team finds a better fit sooner, and I can go do what I want. This will be a win-win for everyone. He says, after he discussed this with human resources, I had a final meeting where Netflix agreed to preemptively terminate me, and I received my severance package. And his life after Netflix. So let's see if it all worked out for him. He says, I thought my life would be over after leaving Netflix. I was worried that I'd have no social life as it had previously revolved around work, but the opposite happened. I met more people through starting my own business, other entrepreneurs, writers, and creators. I now feel a deep calmness inside of me, an unshakable belief that everything will be okay, even if any future success is not guaranteed right now. It's been 8 months since I quit my job at Netflix, and I decided to commit fully to working for myself. Although I'm just starting and don't have any dependable streams of income yet, I'm going to trust the process that if I do work that energizes me, good things will happen. All right. So there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. You have a gentleman right here by the name of Michael Lynn, who quit his Netflix engineering job where he was getting paid $450,000 a year because he felt the money was not worth the boredom. So exactly what does a Netflix engineer do? Let's check this out. So you're going over to Netflix jobs. You got core engineering. It says Netflix engineers ship thousands of lines of code every day. Their work translates into new product features, delivery of content and algorithms for our service. Core engineering spans across multiple teams at Netflix, focused on creating, building, testing, deploying, streaming, and monitoring the Netflix tech stack. So in a nutshell, it sounds like he was stuck behind a desk all day creating lines of code. So I wanted to highlight this article real quick because I posted a video yesterday where I was talking to a friend of mine who goes by the name of Sub on YouTube, and he is in database development. He also has his own IT academy called Lifting the Veil Academy, where he teaches people how to get into database development. And one of the things we were talking about that actually led to this discussion was the acquisition of making a lot of money in IT. Now, obviously, I am a proponent of making as much money as humanly possible, especially in IT. And I suggest the rest of you all get with the program as well. But at the same time, the old saying, money can't buy you happiness, is true. And so we see this example with Michael here. He was making $450,000 a year. To most people looking to get started in IT, you would probably lose your mind if somebody offered you a salary this high. I would lose my mind right now if somebody offered me a salary this high. I mean, let's just keep it real. That is a lot of money. Now, I know he was based out of the Bay Area, probably in San Francisco somewhere. So I don't know how far $450,000 would actually get him, but $450,000 where I live in the great state of Florida would have me on baller status down here. But anyways, he was making $450,000 a year, and he said he wasn't happy. And the reason why is because more than likely he was stuck behind a computer desk, coding up stuff all day long, reviewing code, testing code, deploying code, just code. And I think that's important to discuss because, like when I was talking to my buddy Sub the other day on that video that I posted, we kept talking about making money in IT. And like I said, yes, we all want to make a lot of money, but I think what you guys need to understand is when it comes to tech, I think it's probably more important that you find something that you actually like to do in tech, that you actually have a passion for, and don't necessarily just chase the paychecks. Because there's another YouTuber that I was talking to some months ago who does a lot of cloud security, cloud architecture type of stuff. And this guy makes upwards of like $500,000 a year. But when you dig into the details of what he does, he basically does contracting work for like 5 different companies at the same time. And every time I see him pop up on a YouTube panel or something like that, he's always working. Like he'll hop up on the panel and in between his talking sessions, he'll be over here doing whatever it is that he does. Yes, he's collecting $500,000 a year, but at the same time, he works for like 5 different companies. And based off of my knowledge about him, he's always working. And me, I believe in a work balanced life. I like to go to work, collect my paychecks to fund my lifestyle, to fund my business and all these other activities. But I also like hanging out with my wife and my kids, going on vacations and doing the things that, you know, a married man with 2 kids is supposed to do. Or if you're a single person, you should want to do the same things for yourself. Go collect your paychecks so you can fund your lifestyle and other activities that you want to do that do not necessarily require you to be stuck at work 8, 9, 10 hours a day. So I say all that to say this: when you guys are getting into tech and you're getting excited about the money, trust me, do get excited about the money. I'm not telling you to not get excited about the money because yes, money can change your lives, hopefully for the better, sometimes for the worse, but hopefully for the better. You can use money to fund all types of different things. But I highly encourage you guys to go into a field in IT that you actually have a passion for, that you actually can see yourself doing for a long time and actually get some type of enjoyment out of it, as opposed to just chasing the high salary that somebody over here might get. Because yes, I would love to make $450,000 a year doing what I do. But at the same time, I do not want to be stuck behind a computer coding stuff up all day long. I'm not a coder. I'm not really that interested in coding. I have nothing against coders, but I just personally do not want to do that. And so if that means I can't get a $450,000 salary from an employer because I don't want to be a coder, then I will be okay. You know, there are other ways to crack 6 figures in IT, but me personally, I just couldn't do that. And obviously my man Michael right here, it appears that he couldn't do it, or it just wasn't aligning with his true passions and whatever it is that he wants to do. So just think about these things, ladies and gentlemen, when you're getting into IT and you're getting all excited about the money. Yes, get excited about the money and what the money can do to your life. It can provide stability, give you options and opportunities to explore different things. But I think most importantly, if you plan on making a career out of IT, I think you should probably go into a lane of IT that you can actually find some enjoyment and self-fulfillment out of. And it's not strictly just based upon how much money you could possibly make. Because at the end of the day, money can't buy you happiness. Happiness only comes from within, ladies ladies and gentlemen. But hopefully, those of you watching this channel, you can find some happiness with this Tech G channel as I try to push you guys into cybersecurity. And with that being said, if you felt like you got something valuable out of this information, hit the like button, share button, drop a comment, but most importantly, subscribe to this channel. And with that, I'll holler at you on the next video. Peace.